Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another watercolor palette or a custom palette or something like that. I've done a green one and a pink one, and my favorite color is orange, so I want to do an orange palette. I mean, I've already done it. You can see a little bit on the frame here my page in my watercolor recipe book. You'll be seeing this later, but basically I really love orange, but I barely use orange watercolors, so I wanted to make a palette to make use not only of those pigments, but pigments that look nice with them, and make a little bit more of an earthy orange, warm, very warm palette. And I want to say something before we start. You don't need as much paint as it's going to be today on camera. You don't need much paint at all to learn watercolor and to be a really good artist. You only need like 3 colors for watercolor. You only need the primaries. You don't need anything else. Everything aside from primaries is a bonus in terms of watercolor. So you get different properties like granulation or separation in terms of the pigment separating between different colors, or you even get some, some are more opaque, some are more transparent, but you don't need any of this. I just really love watercolors and I bought all of this myself. For the past few years, I bought this over the course of a few years, because every time I was able to save a little bit of money, I would just buy watercolors. So, there you go. That's the disclaimer. Please don't feel pressured into buying more paint than you need, and don't feel pressured to buy anything that you don't need. Okay? You just don't need this. Unless you want them, then yeah. Oh, this video is not sponsored. None of these companies sent me stuff. Like, I have this tin I want to fill. I don't need it to be full of paint. That's not the point. But I want it to be mainly orange paints. It is a very snowy, Christmassy tin. I really want to use it. I mean, it's getting cold. I'm getting in the mood for some fall colors. I have a few tins that have leftover pans from other palettes because I've made this mistake before. I have bought one full set. That means I have colors that I never use. Let's start by those. I have a few tins that have like 3 colors or something like that, like these ones. And I want to take advantage of these pens that are not being used. I'm going to start from these, and then I'm going to move on to the tubes in case I feel the need of adding extra colors. Starting with the colors I know I really want to use. I really like this red-orange, orangey red, orange reddish thing. I really want to use this color because I really like the way it looks, but it is a little bit opaque. Just a little bit, or a lot. I don't remember if it is a little bit or a lot, but I remember thinking it was a little bit more opaque than what I wanted. It is PO36. I don't really use orange pigments and I really want to give them use. So then this one is English red, so PR101. I use this color sometimes, but I have it in multiple brands because I think I have it in like 2 brands. Brown Mother. Ooh, I really like this color. It is PR206. It is Winsor & Newton Professional Grade Brown Mother. I bought this on sale. It is from the old version. I have no idea if now is a better formula, because I love this color, but I hate the formula. Like, it's super hard to re-wet and it is not very pigmented. So I love the color, I don't love the formula. Indian Yellow from Winsor & Newton as well. another one that was on sale. I think I'm going to just throw most of my orange ones into that tin. Now this one is PY3 and PO13. I'm not sure I want to use this one here. It's not very light fast because I marked here that it was not very light fast. This one is Winsor Newton. Oh, this is Daniel Smith Queen Gold, but this is the new version. I really wanted to try it out, so my mom gave it to me for my birthday a few years ago, and I really like this color. I just feel like Daniel Smith is way too expensive in Europe, so I'm not going to be buying much Daniel Smith anytime soon. I wanted to add some earth tones in here as well. Even though this is not a traditional ochre, this is Mijello Mission Gold Gold Brown. It is a mix, but I really like it. I don't really remember the pigments, PBR25 and PY65. I like this color. I'm going to use it anyway. I just haven't been using it recently, so there it is. I really wanted to have a punchy red in there. This is PR176, this is PR187, and I don't remember what these pigments are. Oh, for now I'm going to put them both in the probably going into the palette pile. Oh, I really want to use this one though. It is a really dark, slightly purplish, very opaque brown. I don't know the pigments though. It is not identified and I have no idea what the pigment is for this one. But it is Caput Mortem Violet. It's not a very appealing name, you know, but the color is really pretty. Quinacridone Rose. No, I don't really want to include that. I have, what else? A black in here, I think. Oh, this is PG8 Green. Don't think I'm going to add that. This is Umber, PY43, PBR7, and PBK7 from White Knights. What is this one? Oh, Sepia. I may actually keep Sepia there. This is Indigo. I'm not exactly sure if this is still what it is identified with. It may be though. Between Umber and Sepia I need to test those to check which one I want. Then Prussian Blue. I don't think I want Prussian Blue in here, but it is a possibility. I know Prussian Blue has that thing that in watercolor it's not very light fast and then you put it in the closet and it comes back and all of that weird ass stuff. But right now I'm not sure. I mean, it may not be a problem because I think I'm going to be using this mostly in a sketchbook, but I'm not sure yet. Hansa Yellow PY1. So right now the options are these. My hands are getting really dirty. Okay, next thing I want to do is from these there are a few that I'm pretty sure I want. So let's get those inside the box. Now the box is not very straight. It is quite beaten up. It was from my mom and it says Hunky Dory Designs 1988 Leslie Ain Ivory made in England. So we can say this was made in England and at least the design is from 1988. I'm going to be using it for watercolor, but probably I'm not going to mix on the lid because it will rust again. I just cleaned up and it had a little bit of dust of rust, and I used some metal cleaning fluid and it worked for now, but let's see how long it lasts without rusting up again. So I want to keep the Titian red. The PO36, I want to keep it, and for sure. I want to keep the English red for sure. The Mijello Gold Brown as well. The Daniel Smith Queen Gold. The Caput Mortem Violet as well. Don't worry, I'll swatch all of this later. But for now, I just want to make sure the ones I'm keeping are the ones I'm going to leave these as a surprise for you. Then all of these I want to swatch to make sure I want them. My doubt with the Prussian blue right now is the way it mixes with either sepia or amber. Tubes I am willing to use for this palette. Jackson's Cobalt Blue, PB28. Lucas Aquarelle Indian Yellow, it is the PY 153. I want a cobalt blue or an ultramarine because I need a warm blue, but I really want, yeah, I need one of those, but I need it to be granulating, so I don't want phthalo blue red shade. I want either cobalt blue or ultramarine. Usually I don't love ultramarine because it is extremely strong and it doesn't really look good to me. It feels like I'm painting with a big pen, like a ballpoint pen. And then I think I want to add Red Brown from Mijello Mission Gold. It is PBR 25. And then I have a doubt in between these two, if it is worth it to keep one of these in this palette. Both of them have PY 150, and then the Mijello also has PBR 25, PR 112, and the Chinese Orange from Sennelier has PY 150, PR 209, and PBR 23. I'm not exactly sure which one to use. I really like both, and they are very different, but they fill the same purpose. So yeah, I think let's watch these ones and then we'll see. We don't need the mirror anymore. I will bring it back if I need to talk to you, and let's get swatching. I really love Prussian blue, but I don't think it suits this palette. I think if I use it, I'm going to get a lot of greens, because the thing with cobalt blue is that it doesn't make great greens. And that's what I'm looking for, because this is an orange palette, not a green or a blue palette, but I still want to have the option of a complementary color. I don't want Payne's Gray in here. I like it, but I don't want in this palette. I don't want it. I am going to use the red brown. I haven't tested it here, but I really want to use it. The PBR 25 and the light red. I think it will work better than the Chinese orange in this palette. And from the cobalts, I think the White Nights one is a little bit too gummy, but I don't know if I want to use the other one, because the other one is way more expensive and I need to get to use this up first. No, I think I'm going to use the White Nights one because it is cheaper and I want to use it up first. So let's go with this. Let's bring you closer for some tasty paint shots. Ooh. Right now, we have a bunch of colors inside a box. They are not arranged in any specific way, they are just thrown into the box, right? Now, I did put the Mijello Mission Gold colors in the same pan because one of them is made with the same pigment that the other is. So PBR 25 is called Red Brown in Mijello's line, and then the light red has that pigment, so I don't really mind if they touch because I'm probably going to be mixing them while using this, and I will still be able to get a little bit of either one. Now, what else did I want to tell you? Yeah, this really annoys me when other people do it on YouTube, but today I understood why they do it. I didn't really want to fill a huge pan full of cobalt blue. I may do that in the future, but I didn't really want to waste that much paint for a palette, and I didn't have a smaller pan, so I did this. But it is really annoying me because there it makes sense, here it doesn't, so I think I may fill this up, even though it was not my goal, because it is annoying me so much. I don't know, this may just be some kind of OCD or something, I have no idea, but I can't stand pans filled like this, so sorry for that. Like, I don't need it to be filled to the top, but I really don't like to see just a tiny dollop in the middle. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. It just looks better, okay? It just makes me want to paint with it. I think I am ready to rearrange these so it looks pleasing to me and so that I know what is where, but I'm going to do a page in my swatch book, or I call it watercolor recipe book because I think it feels fancier. So we're going to swatch it. So yeah, I bet I looked very creepy there. And I swatched all of the colors that I chose. I don't really think that these two need to be in here at the same time, because this one I can mix with the yellow and this orange, or frankly any other color in this palette almost. And then this one, I feel like it is out of place. I still want to keep this one and this one, even though they would feel almost the same place in a palette, but this one is very transparent and that one is very opaque. I think the way this one separates and granulates is very interesting, while this one, I also really enjoy it, but it is a little bit more flat, so I know I want to keep both. I'm not sure about this one though, so I think I'm going to swatch it again. I am so tempted to just add my favorite yellow and take away the 3 yellows I have in here. But I don't think that's a good idea because I basically use that one yellow all the time. And I don't need to use that yellow every single time. But I think I'm going to scrap this one and this one. So very earthy. Not that I mind it. It's just extremely unbalanced. But again, I had a very green palette and a very pink palette, so I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm going to take those two away just to show you. I brought back one of the yellows I had ruled out before, this one, because I thought this was getting way too monochromatic. I really wanted to arrange the palette differently. I always arrange the palette in a very similar way. Like, I group similar colors together, and then I just place the, place the yellows together, and then yellow ochre and earth tones together with the yellows, and then I go on to you know, oranges, reds, magentas, almost like rainbow order. Not really, but almost. Just because I don't want yellows to be contaminated with blue and everything. But this time I decided I wanted to try, and you know those palettes from, I think it's Prima Color Confections? I'm not sure. That have the colors arranged according to more inspiring palettes. Yeah, I wanted to emulate something similar. Now that we chose and swatched all the colors, let's build a chart. I really enjoy making these charts because I feel like I get a better understanding of the properties, not only of the pigments, but how they mix together and how to neutralize them and all of that. So it's just a very simple grid. Usually in these pages I like to highlight my favorite pigments and either write a little note about it or get a bigger swatch. In this case I highlighted PR 101 because I have two paints made of that pigment, and that's Caput Mortem Violet from Winsor & Newton and English Red from White Nights. These colors are extremely different from one another, and even though they are so different, they are made with the same pigment, and that is something that really interests me and piques my curiosity about pigments, because it's really strange how something can be made from the exact same. I find it so interesting how how many variations you have of this color or of this pigment. So much that you end up, for instance, if you are like me, you will end up with more than one variation on your palette. And I made a bigger swatch of the Caput Mortem Violet because I really enjoy that color. I am thinking, tell me in the comments if you are interested, I am thinking of trying to buy Caput Mortem Violet from different brands and compare them. I don't know if you are interested in that, if that's something that you would like to watch. Please let me know in the comments below. I would really like to do that video because I am very curious about that. I know that Caput Mortem Violet is a very old color and it has a really deep history. I think it had to do with alchemy and something like that. I don't fully know the history of it. I am really interested in that, and I am really interested in comparing different brands of Caput Mortem Violet, because I think it's a really nice. It is opaque, but at least the one I have, it's so pretty when you use a lot of water with it, because parts of it sink, parts of it don't, and it separates as if it was a mix. But then the Winsor & Newton website says it's a single pigment, so I'm a bit confused about that. On to different things. So, as I've said before, I love orange, but I rarely use it. So, in this palette, we have three colors that I consider either orange or close enough to be mistaken as orange. And that is Titian Red from White Nights, Pigment Orange 36 or PO36, White Nights Golden, PY3 and PO13, and the third one is Light Red from Mijello Mission Gold. I wrote it wrong. I wrote White Nights. It's Mijello. Oh damn, I wrote White Nights in all of them? The Mijello Mission Gold Light Red I would classify close enough to an orange to be mistaken for an orange. I really enjoy the way these pigments mix with each other. I chose a couple granulating ones, and I chose a few flatter ones, a few more transparent, a few more opaque. There are many opaque pigments in here because this time I chose to not be too bothered by that and just use whatever was available to me. In terms of transparent colors, I have the red brown from Mission Gold. I would consider the light red from Mission Gold as well to be semi-transparent, and the sepia from White Nights I would consider semi-transparent as well. I would say that the White Nights Ruby is also semi-transparent, and the others are all either semi-opaque or opaque. Especially the English Red and the Caput Mortuum Violet. Those two are very opaque, very strong. You only need a little bit. These are all fairly high tinting strength pigments. It's really strange that it's odd for me that the lowest tinting strength in here is the blue, but I really wanted the granulating blue and I really wanted cobalt blue, so cobalt blue it is. And in the White Nights tubes, cobalt blue it doesn't have a great tinting strength, and that's unfortunate, but I want to use this tube up before I use other better cobalt blues. And this one does the job. In terms of greens and in terms of purples, since I wanted to keep the focus on orange, I did add a blue. And the reason why I did that is because since blue is a complementary color for orange, in this case in particular I chose a warm blue. Cobalt blue makes kind of muted greens because it is more towards the purplish side of blues instead of the greenish side of blues. I chose this blue precisely because of that, and because the red I chose is not that good for purple making. That way I get a really nice blue that is great for skies, that is easy to pull a little bit towards red, a little bit towards green, while getting some texture from it as well, because cobalt blue is absolutely great for texture. But it means that even though I can make greens, I can't make a lime green. And even though I can make purples, I can't make super vibrant and punchy purple, you know? Because the red I have is not great for purples. So I tried to keep that in mind. With this palette, I'm not able to get a super clean green and purple, just to make sure that the whole palette is leaning towards warmer tones and towards orange. A little bit of a strategy to not let this palette be too complete, because what happened with my other two palettes is that the colors missing on the other two palettes are primaries. It's really easy to just not have them there. For instance, on the green palette, I just don't have any red, and that's it, or any magenta. So it's really easy for me to say, yeah, I can't make any orange, I can't make any red, can't make any pink. I only have yellow, blue, green, and purple. I do have variations of each, but I only have 4 groups of colors. So it's really easy with the green one to say, yeah, this is a green palette. And here I wanted it to be the same, but since the focus is on a secondary color, like orange, and I did want to have a complementary color, I still wanted to not have the other 2 secondary colors. I don't know if this makes any sense for you. This is all to tell you I wanted to have blue, red and yellow and still have it be very limited. So I chose a blue that makes pretty weird greens and a red that's not good for purples. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for bearing with my weird explanations, things, you know. Thank you for that, and also I really hope you enjoy this kind of video, because I really like messing around with paints and documenting the process. I really love watercolors. Watercolor and printmaking are very, very close for me. I can't exactly tell you how much I love one more than the other, because I just really love both, and I think I need to create a space for both to coexist in my life, in this channel. Sometimes I spend a lot of time focusing on printmaking, sometimes I spend a lot of time focusing on watercolors, and I want to create a balance between the two, because I really love both and I don't want to lose either one. Thank you very much. I will see you next week. I think next week. We'll see if I can make it. See you later then. Oh.